This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So as I'm filming this right now, looking out the window, the sun is shining. It looks like a beautiful day. You can definitely feel like there's a little bit of a calmness before the storm, if that makes any sense. Now, tomorrow is the new moon in Scorpio, and I will tell you that it's not an easy energy. It actually feels more like a full moon, I think, this time than it does a new moon. And it's almost this combative energy in regards to communication. Okay, so there are some astrological placements that are creating some tension. Now, there's Mars energy, and Mars is all about aggression. I would just be really careful how you communicate right now, okay? Especially on Monday. Now, we typically feel these energies a few days before, a few days after. I'm curious if you've had any of these moments where you've maybe had some miscommunications, you've had some pop-off-ish times where maybe you said something where you shouldn't have, or somebody did with you. Let me know in the comments, what's your word of the day, or what's your word of the week as you're watching this video? I'm very curious to know your energy. But I will say this is a new moon about change. If you're embracing change, this is a good thing. If you're fighting change or fighting the shift, then it's going to be very known to you that you need to let go. Okay, so let's get some overall messages for the week, okay, and see what we need to know. And we have here, what energizes me? Play, coyote energy. So I find with this energy, it's saying we need to enjoy ourselves. We need to not always be so serious. And honestly, I think it comes down to being in the present moment. Are you in the present moment? Are you taking things step by step, day by day? Or are you trying to plan everything out or trying to anticipate? Sometimes self-preservation mode, as I call it, is like we're trying to prepare, trying to prepare for the worst case scenario. And we got to make sure that we are in the present moment. Okay, so let's see, what else do we need to know here? Why? This is what I mean. Why? You might be a why person and trying to figure it all out. And I get it. We always want to know, but that's not helping the situation. And I have this stinking suspicion that some of you may be wanting to ask somebody why, just because it might calm your mind, but I don't know if it actually will calm your mind. I think it'll actually make things more complicated. We don't always have to know. And that's where the miscommunications come out. We start questioning, well, why? Why this? Why that? Why don't you, whatever, insert blank. But I would just say, you've got to get out of the headspace. You can visit there. You can't live there. And another message says, the first step is taken. You have asked for help. This is the thing. I talked about taking the methodical steps, being in the present moment, or taking things day by day. This, to me, is the key right now, okay? So all you have to do is take things step by step, be in the present moment, see what happens. You can't control anything. All you can do is control the present. You can't change the past. You can't predict the future, but you can be in the now. And what you do controls your environment or how people react to you. So I come back to my original thought about communication and say, be very careful with how you communicate or how you put your energy out there. Be aware of your body language, your facial expressions, because right now this is a time where people may just go at it, and it doesn't help the situation. Okay, now keep in mind, we did just have the 1111 portal, and 1111 is such a beautiful energy because it means brand new beginnings, spiritual ascension, commitment. It's a twin flame number. So, I invite you to be in the 1111 energy, which says, I'm ready for new beginnings. Yeah, it might be a little bit scary, but it's exciting. Okay, that's the key. I want you to be excited about the future, not afraid. Okay, so I'm going to put these cards to the side and let's take a look at the messages for the upcoming week. Now, let's grab the Moonology cards here and see what's going on for Monday. Now, Monday is the new moon in Scorpio. So let's see. Yeah, see what I mean? A fiery climax approaches. No doubt. This energy says, be careful. Be careful how you communicate. Only pick that battle if you're going to win it. I used to always say this as a teacher in a classroom, and I live by this. I will not pick a battle that I'm not going to win. There's no point. Be very careful what you're willing to fight about. Now on Tuesday, you are good enough. I think that's what's part of it, is that when we feel insecure or we don't feel good enough, right, we start projecting, or the people in our lives start projecting, and it just incites this back and forth. And know that you are good enough. And if somebody is projecting at you and they're in self-preservation mode, try to look at the bigger picture and not take everything so personally. And I know it's hard not to, because as humans, that's what we do. You know, we say, well, why? And that comes back to the question we had earlier, you know, in the overall message is why. And we want to know why someone ran to the other person that seems like less than, you know, and I hate saying that because it's not about better than or less than. But I think that we love to ask these questions, although I don't know if we really love to, but we strive to find out why, when there really is no concrete answer that will satisfy that question. It just brings more why. So just know that you are good enough, okay? Now, on Wednesday, we have look at the bigger picture. This is my whole point. I always say this, you know, we have to look objectively at a situation, why people act the way they do or why they do what they do. You know, I talk about my gift all the time and I say, I don't really get mad. And the reason why I don't get mad is because I understand why people do what they do, even if I don't agree with it. There's no point in me getting mad. You know, even in the worst of times in my life, and, you know, it could be the breakdown of my marriage or other things that have occurred, what am I getting mad at for? Or what am I getting mad at? You know, I understand why it happened. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm okay with it, but I can understand it. And I know that that's a skill that I have, or that I'm very blessed to be able to do that. But I would say to you, sometimes you can't take things so personally. You know, if you know the agreements, you know, don't take things personally. So let's see, on Thursday, okay, your commitment is being tested. Sure is. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? And on Friday, show the world the real you. Live your authentic truth. You know, this is really hard for people. I think oftentimes we live up to an expectation of what people think of us, you know, or people put us into a position where we feel we have to be a certain way. And I want you to think about, what is your authentic truth? And on Saturday, we have your hard work is paying off. It sure is. Absolutely. Keep doing it. We don't want to go backwards. We only want to go forwards. And on Sunday, bring love into the situation. I'm not surprised. I've been seeing these cards actually quite a bit. I've been filming the full moon Zoom readings for those of you that attended on Halloween. We're going to be doing another one at the end of the month, and I'll be posting that on my website soon. I think actually the next full moon is going to be very interesting, because sort of that'll be us in the Sagittarius energy. You know, it's going to be the full moon in Gemini, which is, you know, communication. But anyways, let's get a sneak peek at the following week and see what we need to know. Expect powerful change. I believe it. It's coming. You're just being tested. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? I say it daily. So let's take a look at the tarot. I love using Tarot de la Nuit when it comes to scorpionic vibes, and this being the new moon in Scorpio on Monday, I just felt drawn to use this deck. So let's see, a fiery climax approaches. What do we need to know about this? The Ace of Wands. See, there's the fire. There's the spark, a purpose, passion. Things could very well be coming to a head, even in a relationship. You know, Libra, Venus is now in Libra. And that's much better for us in regards to relationships, because you know, Venus is comfortable with Libra because it rules Libra. So if you were noticing that when Venus was in Virgo, that things were a little you know, that doesn't surprise me. This should feel a lot more comfortable. Now, the only other thing is that Mercury just entered Sagittarius, and Sagittarius energy is a bit all over the place, right? So communication, that's why I'm saying, you know, like, be very careful how you communicate, because it could get out of hand. Now, on Tuesday, you are good enough. 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is saying you don't chase, you attract. Now, there's a couple things I want to say about that. we don't want to chase anything, right? We don't want to force anything. We don't want to force any communication. We don't want to force anybody to be in a relationship with us, right? We want everything to happen naturally or unfold naturally. But at the same time, I want you to be careful about what energy you put out. I mentioned earlier, be careful of your body language. Be mindful of your facial expressions, the words that you're using, because that energy that you put out is what you get back. And so we want to make sure that we are in the best energy we can be. Now, I know we're human. It's not always easy. We have good and bad days, but it's important to be mindful, just as a reminder, okay? Now, Three of Wands is also a card that says you might be sitting on the sidelines saying, I'll do this tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, whatever that may be. Know that you are good enough. If you don't take the steps, how will you know? You'll always be saying, why? Why? Why me? Why didn't this change? Why didn't this happen? Well, maybe you weren't taking the steps, or maybe you were too afraid to take the steps. Maybe you doubted yourself, feeling you're not good enough to receive. That's all a belief system, right? That stems from childhood wounds. And we have to work through those as best we possibly can. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does in due time. Now let's look at the bigger picture here on Wednesday, and we have Three of Cups. Now 3-3 could very well be a sign for you, and I'm not surprised to see that angel number. Three of Cups is a card of celebration. It is a card of proposal, engagement, wedding, celebration. I mean, beautiful. Sometimes I see it as a card of interference. I don't know if I feel that in this vibe, but we'll see as we go. And see, Two of Cups, your commitment is being tested. Could be a relationship here. All right, on Friday, the Fool, show the world the real you, trust and take a leap of faith. It's time to stop worrying and just live your authentic truth. Put yourself out there. Your hard work is paying off. The Chariot, all systems go. It's a yes, it's a victory. You're on your way. And on Sunday, bring love into the situation, Seven of Cups. Very interesting, because Seven of Cups can be about dreams and illusions. You might be having some very vivid dreams. This might be a love that you're dreaming about, or that something, or there's something in your heart that you've been dreaming of in general. It doesn't even have to be romantic. You've been wanting to manifest. You have to recognize that you have to feel it in order to achieve it, right? You have to believe like you already have it. But the Seven of Cups also indicates that you are blessed with options and you need to make a decision. You need to be clear in what you want. In order to have that powerful change, you've got to be clear. You have to state your intentions. And interesting, Seven of Wands, are you ready to stand up? Are you ready to make a move? Or are you defensive? Do you feel like you're being attacked? Do you feel like you're not ready? All important questions. Now, interesting, because we talked about having 3-3. Now we have 7-7. Those could be angel numbers, again, that you've been encountering. Let me know in the comments what angel numbers you've been seeing. Let's take a look with the oracle cards just to see what else we need to know. So let's go back to Monday. So that spark, that fiery climax, that new moon in Scorpio. I thought that card was going to come out. Oh, I thought that one was going to come out too. All right, here we go. The Hermit, Virgo energy. You know, I've been saying this lately in a few readings that I kind of feel like somebody's going to come out of hermit mode. I think somebody's going to surprise you. Might even be yourself. You might surprise yourself. I think somebody just may come out of their shell after some meditation, contemplation, deep thoughts, soul searching. And I want you to listen more than you speak. That's what I mean about communication. You know, like, don't engage in something that's going to erupt into something you don't want. Okay? I don't know why I feel the need to say this. Please be aware of any self-sabotage. Don't do that to yourself right now. On Tuesday, there's the Man. The Man could be you or someone you're dealing with. It's not really about gender necessarily, but it is about forward motion and masculine energy. And, you know, the You Are Good Enough card underneath here and the sitting on the sidelines, or even attracting. You might be attracting a strong masculine energy in. You might be making some moves where it's going to take you off the sidelines. Take it as it resonates. I feel like I want to take a second one for that. I don't know why, but I'm going to. Spontaneously. Yeah, you have to release yourself. You have to release the emotional baggage, because not feeling good enough doesn't help you. You have to build your confidence in certain ways, small ways, taking steps, you know? Okay, interesting. All right, let's take a look at this Wednesday, this Three of Cups, this celebration, and looking at the bigger picture. Yeah, it's developing. It's coming. The celebration is coming. Look at the bigger picture. It's about the process, right? Okay, that Two of Cups. Ooh, a storm is brewing. I've been seeing this card all week in all the readings that I do. Something is clearing here. Your commitment is being tested. There's going to be a test that comes in, and how you handle it is going to be really important. Communication is key. Confidence is key. Something sudden. This is also a card of liberation. And I always say this, a storm often is necessary to clear things out, right? Because when we have a storm, isn't there just this interesting vibe afterwards where you almost feel refreshed, even though it was difficult or not easy, or you were scared or worried? And then you start to realize that, something has ended and something new has begun. So let's take a look. The Fool, trusting, taking a leap of faith, right? And that card that said, show the world the real you. Maybe that's that new beginning, right? See, a magnet, a longing, a desire, an attraction, a yearning for something more. Just be very careful that you're not being pulled backwards. That's why your commitment is being tested. Yeah, and the Whip. See, here's the thing. The Chariot says all systems go, right? And the Whip here can be about repeating old stuff. We don't want to repeat the old, right? That doesn't get us anywhere. What did they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. This just means you've got to get out of that old repetitive energy, and you got to crack that whip and make a move. Okay, and then this Seven of Cups on Sunday. Let's see what it's about. Boy, these cards are kind of sticky. Waterfall. You got to release. You got to release. Emotional release. Interesting. Bring love into the situation. I think there's going to be a release of emotion. Somebody may say their feelings. And let's get that sneak peek at the following week. Oh, the Lovers. See, there you go. Interesting, interesting. We had a new start is coming. Getting ready to stand up. And there's the Lovers. Wow. And by the way, I did mention the full moon in Gemini. And there's the Gemini card. Decision, communication. I know this is not a sneak peek at the following week because the full moon isn't for a couple of weeks, but I'm feeling it. So if you want to attend that full moon Zoom, spicy full moon Zoom, the link will be on my website. But I have to say, wow. Okay, let me take some Power of Surrender cards just to see what we need to surrender or surrender to this week. Surrender, denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. It's interesting, that Seven of Cups that I was talking about earlier, that can be about illusions and not seeing things clearly, right? It's time that we stop fighting the shift. We have to look at the bigger picture. See things how they really are. Use discernment. And let's get another card here. Surrender, frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or to solving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. Okay, let's take one more. Surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Absolutely. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said, show the world the real you or bring love into the situation. And that Two of Cups here, right there, right underneath it, there's the storm coming in and there's the Lovers. I mean, you really can't make that up. I look at even the pattern of these cards. Frustration, there's the ball and chain, there's the whip. The denial, this is the magnet pulling you backwards. The hermit over here, the fiery energy that's making you fight. And we don't want to be in that energy, right? We want to be in calm, cool, collected, and being open to change, embracing it. I really hope this resonates with you. I really appreciate the likes, comments, subscribes. It really means the world to me. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. Thank you very much. I wish you an amazing new moon in Scorpio and a wonderful week.